All right, Snowden McFall is back with us. We're talking burnout and workplace frustration. We've talked about this, about 76 employees, a percentage of employees, that's all of us, are feeling some level of burnout. You know, I like to blame it on AI, but I also think that our jobs are putting a huge demand on us to do more.
They are. I mean, and 50% of people are looking for new jobs. And so that tells you a whole lot that's going on. It's a real problem.
And you found, you know, even through all the studies, that it's not necessarily to make more money. It's they just want to be in a better situation, less stressful.
Less stressful, and employees want to be valued and they want to be treated well. I mean, the number one problem, the number one reason employees are leaving is bad management, bad manager.
And last time we kind of talked about resilient leadership.
That's right.
Right? So how that impacts the workplace. So remind us why we all want to, employees and leaders, you know, we want to be that. I told my 11-year-old, I was like, let's talk about resilience.
There you go.
It's like a trampoline. You got to bounce back.
You do. Well, that's it. A resilient leader is someone who can respond well to crises, bounce back from setbacks, and make it a positive environment for employees where they thrive rather than burn out.
Yeah.
It's really, really important.
Yeah. And what does that look like in real life? You know, what kind of environment is that?
It's an environment where a boss or a manager and a leader inspires their people, praises their people, gives them positive feedback, is clear, and keeps them focused on the mission and keeps them purpose-driven.
Right, and joyful, you know?
That's right.
Like, it's little things you can do.
Oh, there's a lot of little things you can do. It makes a huge difference.
All right, so when you say like that bad manager, what kind of behaviors are those? Because I think, you know, it really depends on an individual's experience. I might not like that person, but then I talk to someone else who's like, oh, they're fantastic.
Well, what I'm talking about is pretty obvious. These are people who yell and scream at their employees. These are people who humiliate employees publicly. These are people who put down their employees, who don't support them. And these are people who are unclear about what their employees are supposed to do.
Now, that was interesting to me, is that we found that a large number of people, employees, they don't know what the expectation is, which to me is that's a shame.
It is. Well, it's very shocking. This comes from Jack Welch. Only 10% of all employees know exactly what their employers want them to do and what their priorities are. So that means 90% of people don't know what they're supposed to be doing.
Who does that? Is that on me as the employee, or is that on the manager?
Well, I think it's both, but it's primarily the manager. You know, the antidote to this is to sit down with the employee. Every leader could sit down with their employees, their top employees, and sit down with each of them and have them write down what they think their job responsibilities are, and then hand them in and see whether they're accurate. Yeah, see if they match. And if they don't, you've got to clarify it in writing, make it crystal clear what the employee is supposed to do.
Because otherwise you will not be successful.
No, and you also need to know the priorities. I mean, we all have thousands of things we have to get done, but what are the most important priorities? What are the highest leverage return on investment activities?
You know, I can't think of, I can see her face, but I can't think of who. They actually were at one of the conferences that was here, but she said, you need to make sure your goals align with corporate goals, or organization goals. And if that doesn't happen, maybe it's time to leave, you know, because if they don't align, then you're not going to be happy. Right. You won't do what they need you to do.
And you need to see how you fit in with the mission of the organization.
Yeah. So maybe just some final words, especially, you know, for managers first and then employees, on how to kind of marry this so that we have a better work experience.
Well, you know, positive communication, effective listening to each other, and clarifying things. And every time you add a new project, make sure the employee knows exactly how they want it and what format, because a lot of employees get frustrated when they do work and it's turned in, it's like, no, this is not what I wanted.
Right.
So clarity is key.
Yeah, and listening to you, because I'm not a manager, but it does make me think, even as an employee, how I can make sure that happens. You know?
That's right.
It's like, I can't always blame the boss because I'm staying, so I need to make sure I'm in that office asking questions, getting clarity, and making sure that I have a plan so that I can be successful.
And put it in writing. Because we're visual. We're not auditory. We talked about that before.
Yeah, and women, don't be scared to do it.
That's
I'm telling you,
ask.
All they can say is no.
That's
They're not
right.
going to be like, get out. You know, we got to speak up for ourselves, right?
We do. We have to advocate for ourselves because we contribute so much.
All right. Snowden McFall, thank you for coming in.
Here.
I appreciate you.